Hi peoples, I'm Mila. I'm an aspiring author writing my debut novel. It's fantasy and I'm on my first draft. This is my first video and I just wanted to share it with you guys because, to be honest, I am kind of scared. But I've gone more comfortable on TikTok, so I'm hoping that I can start getting comfortable on YouTube. This might be temporary, I'm not sure. It depends on how I feel about it after a while. But as of right now, I just wanted to make sure, just introduce myself as a person and as a writer. I just had to make a whole list of what to talk about because I'm very forgetful, sadly. The very first thing I have that is bullet pointed is who I am, because I feel like that is actually one of the most important things that I feel like a lot of readers should know. Just know about the author, about the book authors that they're reading. I feel like readers should just know what kind of books they're reading, who's behind writing those books. My name is Mila. I'm again writing my debut novel. I've been in love with reading since I was very, very small. Night reading. I've been in love with writing since I was very, very small. I'm on my 15th draft right now. I just wanted to get it out because I was editing the video and I was looking while I was editing. I just realized I said 15th draft. I have not been writing my novel for that long. I'm on my 15th chapter, not my draft now, and I'm actually about to finish it today. I've always been more introverted than extroverted, especially now as of late. But for some reason I just always loved just expressing myself through social media because it just felt relieving. It felt like I was free, which is a lot of things that now in this country sadly we don't have. So honestly, I am extremely happy with how I am now today, and I'm happy to continue going. But yeah, that's me. And I also do go by a pen name. I do not feel comfortable with expressing my actual name. So yeah. Ooh, what I love. Okay, like I said, I've always loved writing. Okay, I've written many poems before. I've written short stories. I've even made, hopefully I'm not the only young writer to do this, but I would make gotcha stories all the time. I did have, it's at my old house, but what's it called, I had this giant notebook full of songs that me and my best friend would make. So it was just a whole thing. I have so many scripts on my computer and on paper that I've written as well. I've always been just a huge writer, okay, since I was very young. So it's always held a very special place in my heart. Okay, I also just recently, which this is, a lot of people don't like this, especially since I've been wanting to write this for about 2 years, but I just recently, about I would say a year ago, got into reading a lot. It's something that I appreciate a lot. I love reading. I am a slow reader. I found that out January of 2025. I found that out. That was when I was starting to get really into reading. But I do really like reading, and I love reading, and I love escaping through books. It makes just life seem blurry around me, and I love that. Okay. I love monkeys. Okay, I love monkeys so much. Okay, I love monkeys so much. I love animals. I'm a big dog person, and I'm a huge dog person, and I'm a huge cat person. I can never choose between the two. I have a lot of sympathy towards animals that die, or even just towards animals that are being neglected. My mom passed over a dead squirrel. In this room, I have a letter in my memory box right now to the school, and I don't even know it. Okay, so I've always been in love with animals. They've always just held a very special place in my heart. My favorite subjects are English and history, which is really weird because if I had to choose between English and math, I would 100% choose math. Okay, I would 100% choose math. Math is based off facts. It's based off evidence. That's also why I'm a big science person. As with English, it's mainly focused on opinion and feeling. Okay, so I love English and I love history, but I would choose math if I had to. I suck at math though, so okay, I suck at math. So it's kind of weird how I think that, but you never know. I literally right next to me, I have a bunch of stuffed animals that, again, I baby so much. I love babying my plushies. It's really bad, but I love them so much. I try to be as consistent as I can. I try to post on TikTok 2 to 3 times a day, just to get my content out there, to get my marketing out there. Obviously, not that good. Like I said, because when I express myself, it's really weird because I'm only funny towards people when I'm comfortable with them. And it's still taking me a long time to get comfortable with TikTok and all that stuff, and I've been doing this since November of 2025. But again, it's only been 4 months. I'm giving myself a break. Okay. I love Dr. Pepper. I literally have it right here. It's literally one of the sugary drinks I literally try to drink as much as I can when I'm writing, but you guys literally stand it up on my computer. So it's just long. It's just long. I really love it though. Okay. Third thing, my beliefs. Okay, which I've always just wanted to get this straight. Because if you have separate, especially my political beliefs, if you have a separate belief from my political one, you can leave, because I'm not gonna have the wrong audience. There is a wrong and right audience when it comes to political, when we talk politically. Yes, there is a wrong and right audience. Okay, I will start off strong. I do not support that orange in the office. I do not support him at all. I don't support anybody who votes for him. Okay, even if you are a U.S. citizen and you're as pale as freaking people, you have the possibility of being deported or even worse, being killed. My political belief, that orange does not deserve to be in the office. Okay, I will say in the specific part, but I do want people to do the research. Everybody, if anybody's watching this, I want you to do your research. I want you to do your research. I want you to find out what is happening in this world, because this is not okay. But the stuff that's happening is not okay. And please do your research. So please do your research. This will not be the last time that I talk about my political beliefs. Okay, just please do your research about it. Just do your research on the whole entire United States government, because it's really, really bad. I'm not going to talk anymore about it. Okay. I believe that equal rights are shared between every sexuality, gender, race, culture. Okay, as long as you're not a zoophile or a pedophile. But again, I think equal rights should be shared all around the world. Okay, everybody has a right. Everybody can live. But yeah, those are my political beliefs, and those are just beliefs that I have that every other person should have. Yeah. I also believe that freedom of religion is a major thing. I believe that people should not be focusing their religion on somebody else. That's really bad. I had a friend that tried converting me and my best friend into being Christians. I am an atheist. I love awkward people, okay? If people are awkward, then that's okay. That doesn't mean that they're weird. That doesn't mean that they're nerds, okay? The most awkward people have so much to say, and I love it about them. I love that about them, okay? So, those are just a few of my beliefs out there, because I just wanted that to be shown, especially my political ones. I can't read and process. Wait a minute. Now, for anybody who's read this book before, I need someone to help me. I need you guys to help me, because girl, I'm confused. This is, if you had been with me, I'm currently reading it. I'm over halfway finished. Okay, I'm not even over halfway finished. I am over halfway finished, because I have less than 100 pages left to read. But I'm on chapter 45 right now. Oh, damn, I didn't even know I was on chapter 45. And please, anybody, please give me advice, okay? Like, every single time I think I'm never going to enjoy this book, it just helps. It just helps again, okay? Like, but it took me 20 chapters to want to read. Okay, because I gave it 100 pages. I gave it because me and my sisters, we have this roll of books that we will give a book 100 pages to impress us. Okay, it would give, like, chapter 20 won me over. Chapter 20 was like, okay, I need to continue reading. And I'm always struggling to read this book, okay? I'm always struggling to read it, and I don't know why, okay? And I talked to my teacher, because she's my book bestie, and I was like, girl, I don't know. I don't know if I should continue reading this. It's sending me into a reading slump, okay? But every time I get into a reading slump, I get out of a writing slump. This is actually the first time I've ever been able to balance both. This is the first time I've ever been able to balance writing and reading. But I feel this was something to a reading slump. But I also did already buy it if only I had told her. So I had no choice, because I'm a reader that buys the whole entire series, because I'm weird. Like, I have the whole entire Avatar series right on my bookshelf. I have even read the first book. I also have the Empyrean series on my thing, and I read it completely. Rebecca, you always are my hero, because Rebecca was the only. Because I was writing, and I told everybody how I was writing the story, and then they were like, oh, what did you do with that? I stopped writing it. I told people, I was like, oh no, I stopped writing. I just couldn't find anything to motivate myself. I read Fourth Wing, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get back to writing this. I'm gonna get back to writing this chapter. I'm gonna get back to writing this book, and I'm going to love it. Okay? And since then, because it took me a year. It took me a year to finish 4th grade. But when I did, I was like, you know, I'm gonna write. It took me 6 months to finish Firefly. It took me a month to finish Onyx Storm, which honestly, is sending me back a lot. In about a week and 1 day, I will have been reading this book for a month. And I will bet you $5 that this isn't going to be finished by a month. I'm hoping that I will be finished, but realistically, it's not going to be finished. Okay. But, yeah, that's basically my reading process. I also have two series that I want to read. It's the Powerless series, and Tog, in the Tog series. The Throne of Glass series. May just be me. This is my social media progress. This cup makes me feel single. Social media progress, honestly, it's doing better than I thought it would. And I get like 0 likes most of my videos, I'm not gonna lie. Because I thought I was gonna get like 0 views, 0 likes, 2 followers. You know, like I was not having high hopes for myself. But I just posted because I thought, you know what, like I will be an indie author if I plan to publish my book. Because I would not be, it's not a waste, but I wouldn't be using my money on trying to be traditionally published. The only thing that I would want to do would be to get an editor. But again, I have $157 in my bank account. Like, let's be honest, I don't have that much money. $157 can only get you so far. And I use 20% of that money, which is all I allow myself to use, to buy books. So, yeah. And the only reason why I have that money is because I get $40 a month allowance, and that's it. So, yeah, and I've been trying to save that money I've been also trying to save that money to buy myself, to go into college. There's still a possibility of scholarship, but, you know. So, I don't think I would ever use my money, because for me, personally, wasting my money on being traditionally published is a waste. 20 followers on TikTok, and I just got YouTube, obviously, as you can tell, and I just got Instagram. My goal for TikTok is just to get an audience, and then obviously like on every single platform I have, I'm gonna market my book, obviously, like hello. But I do definitely like just a boss on every platform. I just mainly want to be one big community, one big happy community, okay, where people can come and just be happy, okay, where people can come watch me and relate, okay, to have inspiration. Because I will not promise you that I will get sales. At most, if I ever do get sales, I think I would get 5, okay, to be completely honest. Okay, but I'm also not gonna be down. I'm also not gonna be down. I'm also not gonna be like, oh, I'm only gonna get 5 sales. Oh my god, blah blah blah. No, okay, because that's also why I started TikTok. Okay, originally I was like, oh, this is gonna be the best way to market. Okay, because I'm gonna be an indie author. Now look at me. I make funny content and I get 0 views on half of my videos, but I'm happy. Okay, so I want this to be inspirational. I want people to see my videos and see how I'm still going through it, and then thinking they can write whatever they want. They can write the poem, the video, the film, blah blah blah. That they can do that. So that's just what my social media like goals are for my progress. I think it's been pretty well. I made a few friends. Waxwell. She's a Wattpad writer. I've read some of her stuff. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. She also helped me like decide what the title of my novel is gonna be, which might change, which is why I haven't put it out there. But I do love the name of the title. But Waxwell, she's an amazing writer. She's amazing. I love her so much. I'm inspired to be her. She is great. I recommend reading her stuff. She has already published her first few chapters, I think. Her first few chapters on Wattpad. She's amazing, and I love her so much. Okay. I made 2 really close friends, which is well, I don't even know if me and Waxwell are close. At least to me, like I count as a friend, okay. And I made another friend. I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but he is the author of Hollow Infection. And honestly, I was being so honest with him, and I was like, I don't know, the grandma could use a little help description. It gets better every chapter. I don't know. I don't like. It just amazes me how people have that talent for this. Like Waxwell and the author of Hollow Infection, like they're both so talented. Okay, oh my god, I love them. They are both so talented, and I'm so happy. And I do recommend reading both of their things. I love it so much. I do recommend reading both of their stories. I love it so much. I love their stories. They both stories just captivated me immediately, and I think that's one of the reasons why I think a lot of readers would love that. Cause like hello, like those like oh my god, it also shocks me. Like I love the stories. I love it so much. Anyways, I I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to congratulate my fellow idols because, oh, that's so good. I love it so much. Okay. Okay. So yeah, and I'm really happy. Hopefully, my audience will expand, but I don't need a larger audience. I'm very, very happy with the audience I have now. They're very supportive. I love them all. I love them all. They're very supportive. They're very sweet. And how did I get to where I am? This is story time. Okay, I just moved my lamp down so I don't look like I'm like menacing and evil. Okay, when I was 10, I had this book idea. Okay, it was mainly just a romantasy. It was about a vampire and this Costco. Okay, she had to, it was supposed to be modern time. She had to go through, not modern time, I had to go through, it was during the medieval times. Okay, and she had to marry the vampire. Okay, she had to marry the vampire. She was being sold off. She was being sold off because of slavery. Okay, I mean, like, that was a life, you know, women would be sold off and women would be married by the age of 12 in the medieval times. Okay, and I knew a lot about the medieval times because I was in love with it. So I started doing it, right? And I was thinking about it, but I never really wrote it down. I never thought about it, but it stuck in my head. Okay, and it was originally called Bloodlust. Okay, and then I would still write other stories, okay, because I was writing other stories. It was all on a pad, and I was loving it. Okay, and then me and my best friend, we were calling one day, and it was like in 6th grade, and she was like, "Do you want to make a bet?" I was like, "Yeah, I would love to make a bet." She said, "How about we both make little stories, and by the end of this year, we have to be finished with it." Okay, and I was like, "Okay, the end of this year or the end of the school year?" She was like, "The end of the school year, because the end of that year would be August, so we would have 4 months to write. You know, it wouldn't be realistic. So what's been the school year usually lasts 10 months, at least in the state that we're in." And I was like, yeah, deal, because I already had stories on the other hand, but I wanted to do something different. I wanted to be special, blah blah blah. So instead of doing my other stories, she was like, "Okay, but you have to do another story. You have to do another story. Like, I already know that you write stories." I'm like, okay, that's fine, that's cool. Okay, so I go on the document and I do this whole planning. And originally it was called Bloodlust. Okay, originally it was called Bloodlust, because there was a story that I told you. Okay, and I completely abandoned that story. I was like, no, it's gonna be way too much research for me. I don't want to do that research, because I was also highly depressed that time. I just hated my life, you know, because I was still living with my dad, and school, like with my dad and school, everything just felt like the world was crushing down. So it was just too much research for me to do. So I wanted to do something I already knew how to do. So I started writing the book, and I started writing with something that I knew about, something I related to. Okay, and I wrote this. After I planned it, I wrote it, and this was before I made the prologue. I made the prologue in the beginning of January this year. But this was chapter 1. Okay, this is what I wrote. Because originally Esperanza was to go with daddy issues and mommy issues, but she was the older sibling because she felt like she had to protect her siblings, right? Fair warning, there might be a lot of cussing. Okay, it's like the weight of the waters on my shoulders. Maybe because I have a really heavy fucking pack on my back, but that's besides the point. It's so heavy, but I managed to walk towards a long, empty hallway where my living room is. I can't wait to edit this. As I walk towards the living room, I look at the walls beside me in the hallway, and there's no pictures of the family, nothing about my parents, not a single thing that would show you what kind of family we are. Just a ridiculous amount of weird paintings on a bland wall, on a bland gray wall. I'm glad today is the day I go to college and finally get my own dorm, but I wish I didn't feel like I needed to leave the house to leave my siblings. They are in elementary and middle school, and even one isn't even in school. But they have it just as hard as me. But on the positive side, I get to leave this abusive household, which has been one of my biggest dreams for a while. I look down at the dark oak floor under me and think about all the possibilities, the advantages that I'd be able to get. Maybe I'm just putting my standards way too high, but I know that college will have to be amazing. It just has to be. I didn't work this hard just for shit to go down the drain. I finally reached the end of the hallway, and I overheard my mom and dad talking. I'm not gonna say that because that's not like that. But basically, her dad is like, I couldn't give any shits, Isabella. I didn't want to marry you. I didn't even know who you were before. I didn't even know who you were, lesbian. You know, her mom was lesbian, which is weird. I don't know why I did that. Okay. Sky blue eyes laid on my mom, but they are dark, and his dark brown hair is trimmed on the sides. The color of his hair makes his eyes seem lighter than they are. they're speaking Spanish. I don't understand a word of it. I don't understand it. The only word I understand was lesbiana, which means lesbian, if you didn't know. And he's, my dad, is this what I just saying. And he's, my dad, is speaking to my mom, and her brown eyes are filled with void, while her golden blonde hair reflects off the sun from the window. But there's no way she's gay and married to a man and has his children. There's just no way. That chapter when I was 11, and then I wrote chapter 2 when I was 11, and then I just stopped writing. And then my best friend, she didn't even get close to writing. She didn't even try to write, okay? So, what's it called? We talked about it, and she's like, we're gonna try again. We're gonna try again, okay? We're gonna try it again, okay? And we were like, okay, cool. I'm fine with that. And we tried. I started getting into it. So I finished chapter 2, okay? But she wasn't getting into it. She called me. She was like, I don't know, Mila. This just doesn't seem like my cup of tea. I was like, okay, but this is mine, so I'm gonna continue writing. I hope that's okay. She was like, yeah, of course it is. And that is how I began becoming in love with writing. And then more shit went down the drain, as 11-year-old me would say. And I stopped writing. I stopped writing. I stopped everything. I had no joy in anything. The only time that I would ever do a hobby was even for a hobby, was for school. So it was, I just didn't have a life for a long time. And I was going through my stuff. I was checking a lot of things out on my docs on my Chromebook, because there's a lot of memories in there, you know. And I was starting to feel a little bit more like me. And I found my thing, okay? And I don't know why I was cussing on a school computer. And I'm surprised I didn't get any consequences for that. But, you know, I'm lucky, I guess. And I read some of it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna get back to it, okay? But I didn't think it was much. And then I was on chapter 3. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna publish this book, okay? I don't care if I get sales or not. But you know what I'm never gonna let myself sound like? I'm never gonna let myself sound like I didn't try anything. Okay, I'm going to do this. Because I like this. I would like writing this book. Okay, and it was like I was finishing chapter 3 and I was starting chapter 4, and I was like, yes, I love it. And since then, I've been in love. I've loved writing since then, because I've always loved writing since I was younger. But you know, like I went in and out of it when I was starting to get a little depressed. You know, I'm not as depressed, and I'm happy writing now. I can see writing as a coping mechanism instead of like a chore, you know. And writing just has always been who I am, and I'm proud of that. My writing process. We finally get to this part. Okay, I love this part. I suck at writing. I'm kidding, I don't suck. Okay, I actually do think that I'm a lot better than most kids my age. My writing progress, I've actually been doing really, really good. I've been getting chapters done in a week or less. Never over 2 weeks, so I'm really happy about that. Because before, it would take me months to finish a chapter. And now I'm balancing school, reading, and my chapters out, you know. And I'm proud of that. I'm learning, I'm writing, and I think that I have found the secret method to being a good student, a good reader, and a good writer, and just a good person overall. So yeah, my writing progress is I have been going far to far. I've been learning a lot of things, and I do recommend you to do your research what my novel is about. This is very difficult for me to talk about. This is very difficult. I don't know how to talk about this. My novel is about this girl who inflicts pain upon herself, okay? Her name is Esperanza Sara Maria. She's Colombian. And that's all, she inflicts pain upon herself, but she is constantly getting intertwined in her own mistakes. And you will find out what that means. You will find out what that means after a while. And you will also find out that hurting herself includes the choices and decisions that she makes. She finds out a lot of things about herself, and she finds out that she has powers, okay? She goes through it more. She finds out, and you know, she almost dies. She apparently comes back to life, things like that, okay? And her murderer, dead. His body was found, but she does not believe it, so she decides to investigate herself. When she does investigate, she finds this whole separate society, this whole entire separate world from the one that she knows. This is contemporary time, by the way. Okay? And as she investigates, she learns more about that society. She learns more about what happened, okay? And then she gets, oh my god, she gets kidnapped. She gets kidnapped, and she's introduced into the society, okay? And she's deciding whether or not she wants to be part of it. And when she's persuaded into, yeah, she wants to be part of that society, she trains, she walks, and she overhears a mission that a lot of people in the chamber are talking about. meaning the Litos. And she just joins voluntarily, because not only is she stubborn, but she's also very hard-headed, and she anything she puts her mind to, she will be doing it. So yeah, okay. She's not a giver up, okay. So she forces herself to join the mission, and she finds something out, something that knocks her world upside down, something that she could never choose between, but she has to. Okay, so she has a difficult dilemma. There's a difficult dilemma that she's going through, and there's only one similarity about betrayal. And that's basically the summary of my book. That's basically the summary of my book. That's basically what my book's about. It is a slow burn, by the way. It's a slow burn. I will say that my habits. Okay. My habits. I get into writing slumps, and I get writer block a lot. It's really, really bad. But like no matter what, even like a word is progress for me, and I write every single day. I show up every single day. I'm consistent. I'm really consistent. Okay, so I do that. Okay, sometimes I don't write every single day. Like I've been taking a day break. Excuse me. I've been taking a day break sometimes. But I will say that I feel like when I know that my brain can't do much, I let myself take a rest. I let myself just binge watch shows, read, whatever, catch up on stories and stuff like that, whatever. Okay, and then I feel like I need to write. Okay, but if I can't write, I also sometimes crochet, things that kind of remind me of my novel. And sometimes also, I'm not a good crocheter, by the way. Don't ask. Sometimes I even read. Sometimes I draw. I basically do everything that reminds me of my book, except writing. So yeah, amazing. But yeah, that's basically all there is for today. That's me. That's who I am, Mila. And I really, really hope you guys enjoy this video. I really hope that after this, you guys have cared to listen. And if you guys have, I do want to say one thing that I have said in every video that I talk in. Your differences are your strengths, okay? And I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, everybody says that. But like, it's true. It's very, very true. You you are different in so many more ways than one. You are unique. Okay, and a lot of people are like, but doesn't that make us the same as everybody else? Because everybody's different as well, so doesn't that make us all the same? Good point. Perhaps you can look at it like that, but the way that I look at it is that sure, you can be another you can be another haystack in the hayfield, or there can be something special about you, okay? And there always is something special in every single haystack. But what you can decide is whether you want to express that, whether you want to express your behavior, whether you want to express what makes you so different from everybody else, what makes you so much better than what you could ever think of. That is your decision at the end of the day, okay? That is what makes you different, okay? And I feel like becoming successful off your differences, being a writer, a reader, an artist, like being an accountant is such a boring. People say being an accountant is such a boring job, because it is. People people can do math, easy accountant, okay? But what about all the people that go out on the streets? What about all the activists? What about all the people? What about all the art people sell? What about the books? What about the songs? Everything that makes you special is ultimately what makes you such a great person to work with, okay? So I just want you to remember that. And I want you to know that no matter what, you are loved. You are worth so much more than all the negative thoughts in your mind. I know everybody's saying that now, but it's very true. All those negative thoughts are words that are forming in your head. All those negative thoughts are words that come from you. Okay, and I understand a lot of people make it seem like that, but don't let people determine your self-worth. Okay, if not for you, then for the people that care about you, for the people that you care about, for people that look up to you. Because in my hardest times when I didn't know my worth, I had kids that helped me. Every single time that they would look at me, I knew that they needed me. I knew that they didn't have anybody else, and that got me through it at the end of the day. So I just want you to know that your self-worth, your importance, is something beyond understanding. Okay, and it's gonna suck. 90% of your life is going to suck, but that is because life has to bring rocks your way to see if you are even worth it. Okay, to see if you are even worth it. Okay, because that's what life thinks. That's what people who say oh blah blah blah, like blah blah blah. God gives his hardest wars to his strongest soldiers. That's not true. That's not true. Because that is defining your purpose. That is someone saying that they think that you're worthy enough for this, but you need to prove it. When you break down, it is okay. You are allowed to feel how you feel. You are allowed to feel worthless sometimes, but what you are not allowed is to let that overtake your mind. Because the only thing in this world that could ever be more deadly than someone with a gun or someone with a knife or a serial killer or someone that's crazy is yourself. So do not let your mind overtake all the good in your world. Your differences are your strengths. And you as a person can persevere through anything. You just have to believe in yourself. Okay, that was very, very sappy. Okay. But yeah, that is my introduction video. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you people later.